Magic and magnetics. They both sound similar because they are related. And everything in existence is magical or magnetic. Hey yo, peace. This your man, Judge, man, coming right back at you, man, with some of that real talk real fast. Hey man, happy Saturday to everyone out there. And you know, man, I just want to get this off our minds, you know what I'm saying? Let's try to get an understanding of how this thing is working. Now, we already know that everything is made up of protons, neutrons, and electrons. They're made up of subatomic particles. Everything in the seen or unseen world is made of something. Even the oxygen that we're breathing right now is still made up of subatomic particles, and even the water that's in the air right now is made up of subatomic particles. But the thing that's holding these subatomic particles together is magnetics. Now, we exist just like a fish in an aquarium. Within that doggone aquarium, it seems like there's one large body of water. But what you're actually looking at, you're looking at a mathematical program of a bunch of subatomic particles that's functioning, that's delivering its own equation, which gives us the illusion of water. And the fish is in that. And every move that fish makes, it sends out a ripple, so he's affecting his environment. Now, we are doing the exact same thing the fish is, because we're living in an environment of, although these things may look different from what's in the water, nevertheless, these things here are mathematical equations. They have their own frequency. You know what I'm saying? They have their own, they groove into their own little music, you know what I'm saying? They got their own vibe, and they're all functioning at the same time. And we have the ability to affect these things. Every time when we think of something and we feel it in our heart, we send out a transmission, you know what I'm saying? Because the doggone electromagnetic field that's shooting out from your heart, it also exists in subatomic particles. That wave exists in what makes that wave is subatomic particles. And it's going out just like the fish in the water, and it's affecting everything around us. Now, we have the ability to magnetize certain things when we broadcast that signal, and the like elements, because like attracts like. When we broadcast that doggone signal, and when it receives it matches up, the frequency matches up with the frequency of whatever you was visualizing, it is drawn towards you. That's the simplest way I could say this. There's no spookism about this thing called magic. The only spooky thing about this thing called magic is the fact that it's really all black magic. And when I say black magic, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to show my mic. But when I say black magic, I mean that we're really dealing with the unknown here. So we really don't know how this thing is functioning, but it just is what it is. And now scientists have gotten so far to where they're starting to realize that this thing called dark energy is really the glue that holds all things in existence. Because even the subatomic particles have to have something to bring them together so that they could form themselves. So then so that in return it could form matter and other things. So the deep blackness is that doggone what you would call dark energy. It is the cosmic glue that holds all things in existence. And sometimes it pushes things apart, because dark energy, it builds on itself. And as it builds on itself, it begins to expand. This is why these scientists are lame. They're wondering why the doggone universe is still expanding. The reason why it's expanding is because of the doggone dark energy building upon itself. I don't know why I went there. I just wasted a few minutes talking about that. But anyway, man, I'm skipping around. Anyway, man, the resonance from our heart, man, affects everything we want, man. If you feel something in your heart, that magnetic pulse is going to go out and then it's going to attract it and it's going to bring it to you. It's simple science. Like attracts like. Now, this is the thing. Now, a lot of people, when you're born, when we come into creation, the first thing that is being created is the heart. That's why the heart and the brain has neurons in it. Now, the neurons in the brain, this is the heaven. Like our Father who arts in heaven. This is where you create or visualize the things that you want in your existence. Now, either you control that or someone else is going to control it for you. The reason why I said that and try to tap it into you is because if you're just sitting there and you're watching all kind of things and you're exposing yourself to all kinds of stuff that you probably shouldn't be exposing yourself to, you're going to attract those things. You're going to attract those things to you, because the neurons in the brain, those are like electrical pulses. It's another frequency. And like I said, and let me keep going because I'm gonna get back to something. But it's another frequency. But when you see something and you visualize it, then you send that doggone thing to the heart. Now the heart also has its own neurons. It has its own feelings. It has its own wants. But the heart, man, is an organic doggone machine because of the iron that's going through your body, man, and it's pumping through your heart, and it creates a resonance, and that resonance creates a magnetic field. And they say this magnetic field exists 3 feet outside of the body, but I say it goes further than that, because remember, we just discussed the fact that everything is made of subatomic particles. Even the doggone oxygen that's made up of subatomic particles that's in the air, and even the water that's in the air, the subatomic particles of water are made about smaller subatomic particles. And water is basically a crystal. Water can hold information forever. When we are talking about, when we say that we're communicating with the acoustic records, what we're doing is we're tapping into those doggone microscopic crystals. That's the water that's in the doggone everywhere in existence. And we're just tapping into the information source. The water. It's just that simple, man. I'm trying to keep it simple, you know what I'm saying? But the heart, the brain is very powerful with the neuron system that it has up there. But the doggone heart is 100 times more powerful than the brain. The neuron system within the heart, man, and the doggone electromagnetics that's rocking with it, it's 100 times more powerful than the brain. So you sit back, man, and you create, like I said, this is the heaven, our Father who arts in heaven. You create what you want. Even in this thing we call reality. Reality is only what one person realized, or what we realize. We've created all of this. We send out the frequencies, man, and we manifest. And the more frequent that you doggone, the more frequent that you travel a certain path in the brain, now I gotta think. You know something? I could see how we create our own prisons. Because a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about cutting the pathway, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, cutting the pathway through a field, and then that becomes the path that you travel normally, but you should cut other paths every now and then, you know, just so you can go and experience something different. But I can see, man, you know what I'm saying, how people, it was a young lady, she was on TikTok or something, she said the reason why the people in the hood are trapped is because they listen to the same music, they dress the same, they eat the same foods, they watch the same TV shows. So they're creating a doggone groove within the brain, and they're creating these paths that they travel frequently, and they're creating their own world. So now the best thing to do, man, is to change your frequency. Now, how do you change your frequency? You change your frequency, like I just said it, by doing different things. Now, listening to classical music, that's a good way to change your frequency, because classical music, the way how it's set up, it taps both sides of the brain. It taps into both sides of the brain. So then you begin to program yourself when the moment when you want to be better, but the moment you cut a pathway to whatever it is that you're trying to be, or whatever you're trying to accomplish, the more successful you're going to be. You got to cut those paths. You got to cut those grooves. But anyway, man, getting back to the subject, man, I kind of went off there, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, this is a magical world, man. And the heart is very powerful. When you want something, man, see it, create it up here. See what you want. You know, listen to it. You know what I'm saying? This is the Godhead. You know what I'm saying? This is where the dreams are made. This is where you become set free. But this right here, this is the messenger. This is the doggone, this is the God force. This is the God force, that doggone resonance, or that magnetic field that's coming off of the heart, that's tapping into everything in existence. That's what I was going to say before. Because even the doggone wave that's being transmitted from the heart, that's made of subatomic particles as well. And it's out here, it intermeans with the subatomic particles in the air, or in the atmosphere, or in our existence, and then it sends out that signal. And then whatever you see, it's going to bring it to you in some shape, form, or fashion. That's the thing. That's the tricky thing. We don't know how it's going to work. You just have to stay alert. Magnetics and magic, it's the same thing. It's no spookism. It's just science. Peace and blessings. This is your man, El Judge. Enjoy your Saturday. I'm out.